Joining tonight's Staying Rooted in Your Roots Healing Circle. I'm Vanessa Weathers. I'm a spiritual counselor and energy therapist, and the creator of Espirito Libre, which is a service I created to really help inspire people to become more aware of what spiritual health is and to help support and guide them on either maintaining or improving their spiritual health. So, before we get too far into sort of the topic at hand tonight, I did want to do a quick grounding exercise for us. So, for this, I'm just going to take you through some cleansing breaths and a couple of visualizations, just again to help send a message to our mind and body that we're doing something different right now. So, in case you haven't been part of a healing circle before, I'll just spend a couple minutes kind of touching on, sort of what's the intent of these types of sessions. They can take on a variety of forms, but really the intent is to come together with other people in a safe space to consider a problem, explore a question, to really explore our healing together as a community. If you do have something you want to share, I'd love to hear it. And whether that's you come off mute or we can chat, I'm open to whatever. Or if you just came today to take it all in, that's fine as well too. Growing up as a Black person in New Hampshire, where I live, I've been here most of my life. And I grew up here in the late 80s, early 90s, and then, to current. But this was a time where it was even more predominantly white. So it wasn't uncommon for me to be the only Black kid in my class or person of color. And so that definitely had an impact on my childhood and has continued to impact me well into adulthood. And it wasn't until a couple years ago when I decided to step away from my professional career to take the time to do some necessary healing that I had put off, that I really took the time to take inventory, I guess, if you can refer to it that way, around sort of the harm that I have experienced because of racism. I think my career kept me pretty distracted. Most people were busy. We got so much going on. We're juggling, different things. And so even though I would have feelings in the moment when I would experience it, I would quickly kind of stuff it down or push it to the side because, life continues to happen. So it wasn't until a couple years ago when I had the time to really reflect on the ways in which racism has harmed me and the role that it has played in sort of me becoming the person that I am today, that I realized just how much stuff that I had encountered. And I knew in my heart that other people had very similar experiences and were going through a similar sort of reconciliation process, especially back in 2020 with the advent of the pandemic, and then, all of the rightful social unrest because of, the unlawful murders of Black and brown people by the police. I think a lot of us are kind of going through a reckoning right now and trying to reconcile sort of everything that we've experienced and what does that mean for our future. These are some videos that I've just come across that really, I don't know, they resonated with me. They got me thinking, which is, I think, a very important part of healing. One, you've got to be able to identify the wound, what you're healing. So you got to name it and you got to know kind of what caused it and stuff. And then there is the actual work that you do to heal the wound or wounds in probably our case. So when I am out there, on different social media platforms, as I come across a video that really speaks to me, I actually just save it. So these are some that I wanted to bring forth today, just to, again, get us kind of reflecting and thinking. This is a Nina Simone quote. "What kept me sane was knowing that things would change, and it was a question of keeping myself together until they did." So I came to this realization about the ways in which I've adapted because of racism, and some of it is good, some's neutral, and some of it has been harmful to me. You know, like I need to go to the grocery store to to get food. So the fact that I like have anxiety about doing stuff that should be very simple, straightforward, and not, you know, have so much emotion wrapped up in them. You know, it was very just sort of eye opening to me when I started to peel back the layers of like why I do the things that I do and what might be behind those. And I appreciate you being vulnerable and sharing that feeling in this space, as well as sharing those experiences that you've had. And it's just terrifying to hear that your, you know, your health care was impacted and your ability to feel safe and secure in a space that you should absolutely, you're going to receive healthcare from so-called experts, right? And